Now that you've played a good bit of PoE, does that change your perspective about the PoE 2 showcase? It makes me understand more why some of the PoE people weren't as excited by PoE 2 as I would have thought they would have been. Because PoE 1 is like very fast paced, like very user interface heavy. It's like a spreadsheet game done visually. And PoE 2 seems to be like closer to the D4, where it's like slower, more visual. It's more about what you're watching instead of what you're thinking about, if that makes sense. Like, that's just kind of what comes to mind. Is you definitely trying for more user friendly. Yeah, but like, here's the problem. Like, the reason people say they don't want to get into PoE is because it's like overwhelming. But the reason it's overwhelming is because there's so much depth to it, and the depth is what makes it good. So you can't really make it like more user friendly without sort of removing the reason it's good. Diablo 4 is probably like the most user friendly, like easy to use ARPG I've probably ever played. But user friendly basically means easy to play and easy to understand. And a lot of times, I'm not saying it's impossible, but a lot of times easy to understand and easy to play go hand in hand with not being a lot going on under the surface. Like, I'll give you an example, okay? So I played Vampire Survivors and Halls of Torment, and the enjoyability of that game doesn't come from the depth of play. It comes from the action. But no one is playing Vampire Survivors for thousands of hours as like a forever MMO game. But it's extremely user-friendly. It's a very good game, but it's a consumable game. So you play it, you enjoy it for what it is. It's easy to get into, easy to enjoy, but also easy to let go because you've done the thing. So I feel like the ability to be turned off by Path of Exile's overwhelmingness is just an instinctive byproduct of the fact that they have an overwhelming amount of content. Because the reality is, if I asked you guys, how do you take Path of Exile as it currently is, in the iteration it currently is, and make it way easier for the average guy to understand? How do you actually do that? They have a million third-party applications that are already trying to do that. And then in of themselves is something that makes me not want to do it. Remember Path of Building? I was pushing back. I didn't want to understand and download Path of Building. Path of Building is literally a tool that is designed to make the game easier for monkey brains like mine. That is what the tool does. And I don't even want to engage with the tool that literally is designed to make the game easier. So I think that that's kind of an example of my point, which is that it's the fact that you just don't want to do it because it's overwhelming. That's the turnoff. You can play the game and you can understand it. It's just knowing that there's so many things to understand makes you not want to do it. But it depends upon what you want. AI chatbot that answers questions. I actually like that idea. Try to learn one new mechanic each league. Yeah, I think that's the way they do it. I'll probably play all the leagues, I would think, from now on when a new league comes out. I'll probably try the new league. I'm going to play the Diablo 4 seasons when they come out, and I'm going to play the Path of Exile leagues when they come out. I'm definitely going to play Path of Exile too. In each league, I'm going to learn something new. I very obviously have gone down the Blight rabbit hole with this one. I feel like I understand Blight at like a pretty good level. I've done all of the Blight content that I've been able to find in the game. Yeah, I tried the Trials of the Ancestors. It's pretty fun. Reminds me a little bit of like a MOBA. People say it's an auto battler, but like you're moving your character, and the auto battlers don't really have characters that like target things that make the characters spawn. I feel like it's not really an auto battler. I feel like it's closer to a MOBA. But like, if I introduce you to my favorite game, RuneScape, right? And I start walking you guys through all of the stuff there is to do in RuneScape, if you don't know anything about the game, and you hear that it's going to take you thousands of hours to do all of the things in the game, you're going to feel the same way as somebody who logs into PoE for the first time. But, you know, RuneScape's one of the only games I've played where it's like, yeah, okay, it's got PoE on the ropes for the amount of content in the game. Like, RuneScape definitely has, in my opinion, as much content as PoE. I wholeheartedly believe that. And PoE has a phenomenal level of content. I mean, PoE really does have a lot of content in its game. But getting into RuneScape is overwhelming. The thing about RuneScape is because it's so slow, whereas PoE I actually think is fast. Like, PoE seems like, oh, it's slow because the campaign, but like the reality is, like people say, campaign's a tutorial. You blow through it in 20 hours, which in RuneScape's barely enough to do anything. You don't even have Dragon Slayer done by that point. And then you're like kind of into the meat of it. So PoE is actually fairly fast, but RuneScape is slow. So what happens is when you're playing RuneScape, even though it's as overwhelming as Path of Exile, because it's so slow to level and do everything, you have the time to understand it. But PoE is fast as you can learn. So everything is available. You just have to learn. So PoE feels more overwhelming and it's more stressful because the only inhibitor to you really getting into the game is yourself and your willingness to like divulge the information. Whereas RuneScape is like, you need the levels and you gotta do the stuff. Yeah, you gotta do the tutorial and get the gear and stuff in PoE, but the reality is most of it is a learning curve. PoE is kind of a game where you decide your own goals things to try during the league. You pick them, you focus on what you want for a cycle league, and come back to try new things every now and then. Yeah, I think that is what PoE will be for me. I think it's something that I'm going to do when I am hyped about the game, which will very likely coincide with league launches. So I think I'll play all the league launches. I'll probably try a new build, new mechanic every time. I would imagine I'll probably do solo self-find from now on because I don't really enjoy trading. So more than likely, I'll just hop between D4 seasons and PoE seasons. I don't really like the PoE trading because I don't really like using the website to get the trades and then having to like convert my currency and sell the items. I think solo self-found will make the game more exciting the same way an Iron Man and RuneScape would make the game so exciting. So I think I started the solo self-found minion build, and I like that a lot. I just think it'll be a more interesting way to play the game, probably. So no more PoE until you finish Starfield? Yeah, I'm going to play Starfield for the next week at least. Like, there's no doubt that I want to play Starfield for a week. Well, if it sucks? Well, if Starfield sucks, then I'm going to stop playing it. You're better off learning more about in-game content, more advanced mechanics before trying solo self-found. Solo self-find is a self-imposed hard mode, and if you don't know what you're doing, we'll get to you quick. Yeah, but when I hit the walls of me not knowing what I'm doing and I hit into a problem, that's when I'll learn. It also makes good content. I don't think the reason people have been watching this stream is because they're looking to watch somebody who knows what they're doing. I think the meat and bones of it is people are watching and literally enjoying the mistakes. Just enjoy the fresh perspective. Yeah, like I don't think... I'm pretty sure most people are watching because they either want to troll me and have me lose some kind of efficiency, something that I even realized I lost by giving me wrong answers, or they literally want to see me learn and figure it out, or they want to see my opinion on what I think of their favorite game. So I'm not really worried about like playing solo self-found and not knowing what I'm doing, because I think the point of like me not knowing what I'm doing is the actual reason. Yeah, I relived their first playthrough. Yeah, exactly. You know, if I could watch some major streamer that for the first time was trying RuneScape, I'd probably watch every one of those streams. Still planning to do Last Epoch after PoE. I do actually want to find time to slip Last Epoch in. And I wanted to do Diablo 1. Diablo 1 has been on my mind. The Ackman recommended it to me several times. I told him I'd play it. I still do want to play it. It's kind of the OG. So I'll probably try Diablo 1. I would think.